Hello everyone, hope you all are doing very well. Welcome to the second preview that I'm making for this game week. And this preview is a very enticing one for different reasons. And I'll tell you why in the later part of the video. And that's between Everton versus Brentford. And that's between Rafael Benitez versus Claudio Ranieri. So straight away getting into it, let's look at the previous game week result that both sides got. And Everton, an injury-riddled side, got a 0-1 defeat at home to a very good West Ham side, while Watford, on the new manager debut, new manager bounce, they were trashed 5-0, mercilessly destroyed by Liverpool. And you cannot even say they were unlucky, they were fully, absolutely humiliated, destroyed, and embarrassed. That was a very bad defeat and a bit of eye opener that suddenly manager bounce doesn't happen. There's some other problems in the squad as well, but that's for a different video. So this was the results of both the sides in the previous matches. Moving on to the head-to-head, and the last time these two sides have collided. And over, if you see, the last time they've collided, the last 4 times they've met. First of all, they met in the 18-19 season, and Everton and Watford had a 2-2 draw. Then Watford beat them 1-0 at Vicarage Road. Then in the 1920 season, Everton beat them 1-0 at Goodison Park, and they won 2-3 at Vicarage Road. So this was the head-to-head between the sides. Now moving on to the interesting part and why you cannot count down Watford, and you also just have to believe Claudio Ranieri that sometimes he is capable of pulling a stunner. This is the stats between Claudio Ranieri and his whole career in the Premier League versus Everton. And if you see the stats, has a manager of all the clubs included, Fulham, Leicester, Chelsea, he has played 11 matches against Everton in the Premier League. He has won 7, he has drawn 2, he has lost 2. At Chelsea, he lost to Everton 2-1, but then won 2-1. Then he had a 0-0 draw, then he won 3-0. Then he won 1-3 at Goodison Park, then 4-1 with Chelsea, then a 0-1 victory again at Goodison Park before his last match and a 0-0 draw at Stamford Bridge. After that at Leicester also, he won 2-3 and also they won 3-1. Before in this final season at Leicester, he lost 2-0 to Everton. So these have been the results, and this is the way how he has enjoyed playing at Everton as a manager, as the record also states. So this is the reason you cannot count on Watford out of this game, especially Claudio Ranieri. Moving on to the injury news and what injury news we have on our hands. And if we look at Everton, then in the interview that Rafael Benitez gave after the game, he has said Richarlison might be back for this game while Calvert-Lewin will take a bit longer to recover, which is a bit of blow. So overall, the likely lineup that we can expect from Everton is going to be a big boost for them last week when Lucas Dean, Seamus Coleman, everyone was fit. So it's going to be Jordan Pickford as a goalkeeper, Coleman at the right, Lucas Dean at the left, is going to be Ben Godfrey and Michael Keane in the middle. It could also be Yerry Mina, Michael Keane. Then it's going to be Andre Townsend at the right, Doucouré in the middle with Allen. And then it's going to be Demarai Gray and Richarlison and Rondon. I think West Ham matches show that Everton do not have depth. They need at least one of Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin to come back. But I do not think that Richarlison coming back will mean Rondon to the bench. I think Richarlison and Rondon are going to play together with Demarai Gray along with them as well, and Doucouré and Townsend up there. It could easily also be a 4-2-3-1 formation where Allen and Doucouré are in the middle, Townsend at the, you can see at the right, is going to be Charlison at the left, Demarai Gray in the middle, and Rondon as a striker. So this is a likely lineup in my opinion we're going to see from Everton. Now Watford have Cabalese out and Cyril is also out. So likely lineup for them, for me, especially in the last match, they went a lot defensive. They're not going to do this thing. This is a must-win match for them, or at least a draw. They need a point, and they know they can target the Everton team without Calvert-Lewin. So for me, they're going to go a bit more attacking. It's going to be Ben Foster as the goalkeeper, Firmino at the right in my opinion, Messina at the left, because Danny Rose had a very awful game against Liverpool. Then it's going to be Cathcart and WT Ekong in the middle. It's going to be Bonaventure at the right. It's going to be Kuka and Sissoko in the middle as midfielders, with Hernandez at the left, and it's going to be Ismail Assar and Joshua King for me as the forwards. So this is going to be the Watford lineup for me. Moving on to the last part in prediction, and see, it's a hard match to predict. As much as I remember Everton, I've seen them in the past some years, not under Rafael Benitez, but in the Carlo Ancelotti, Marco Silva. In these things, they've always dropped points against teams you expect them to beat. This season, they have been a bit different. They're a tougher team to beat under Rafael Benitez. Rafael Benitez is one of the most experienced managers, and he knows what to do. But yes, there's always a concern when Everton play any team from the bottom half, and along with that, Watford have a lot to play for. This 5-0 win would have shocked them, and especially in Everton without Calvert-Lewin, it can struggle, especially for goals. But overall, at Goodison Park, out of form Watford do mostly rely on Ismail Assar for goals, And Richarlison being back with Rondon, Rondon is another very experienced Premier League player. Then you got Demario Gray up there. I think West Ham was the most difficult opponent, but Everton will have too much quality for Watford to play anyway. And I think sadly it's gonna be Everton for me 1, Watford nil. It's not gonna be a pretty game. It's gonna be Watford are gonna give them fight till the end. They will be defensively organized and they're trying to play on the counter, but the quality will prevail. One of Richarlison, Rondon, or Gray will produce something and they'll get Everton the victory they need. So this was my prediction. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.